Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen news. We have some quite exciting stuff today for later in the 3.20 patch cycle. We've got ship-scale tractor beams turning up. The persistent universe has suffered some outages. I'm going to talk about that. The Ares has some fixes which will make people a lot happier. They're actually in 3.20 as well, those fixes, or updates, shall we say. Also, experimental modes. Some people are a bit upset with the way that they're being handled because they're very much on a schedule. They've got very limited windows for each of those game modes that are going to be played. And let's talk about all of this. So, server degradation and problems with Alpha 3.20. So there was some server and backend disruption to the newly released Alpha 3.20 persistent universe. This left services intermittent for the patch for around 6 hours. Infrastructure is operational again after being recovered. Cloud Imperium are continuing to investigate bugs that may have resulted from the outage and general problems with 3.20 and its stability, accessibility, and playability. Servers appear to be working pretty well, at least for me currently. Now, there could be more problems when more players turn up, and based on the time of the day, based on how long a server's been running, server degradation is a thing. There's always a little instability to be expected when they move over to the live build, and they typically hotfix it within the first couple of days to be a lot better, or to fix anything that's like really broken. It's all looking pretty solid again, touch wood. But I am really interested to know your experiences of 3.20 from now on. Literally, are you having a great time? Are you having a terrible time? At certain times of the day, are you not able to log on, or are you constantly crashing? Things like that, please tell me in the comments below. Roadmap update. So we had a roadmap update with a bit of a surprise. So 3.20.x, so at some point during this 3.20 cycle between now and December, we are getting a update, it looks like, with the Argo SRV, which is the dedicated tractor beam ship, and vehicle tractor beams. So I was expecting this to turn up originally actually in 3.20, and then I just assumed it had been pushed to 3.21, but it is in between the two. So, vehicle scale tractor beams. Implementing tractor beams attached to ships, either remote operated or turret-like attachments. This allows players to move and tow bigger objects, including other ships, but it will also aid with various other gameplay mechanics with salvage, mining, a ton of utility uses, and cargo operations. Cloud Imperium are pushing towards having times and costs associated with cargo, these freight elevators, persistent hangars. Also be aware that as soon as those ship-scale tractor beams are in, those larger tractor beams are in, it's likely that the 32 SCU boxes will no longer be able to be moved with the hand tractor beam. Ship-scale tractor beams, although it doesn't sound like much, is probably one of the larger updates to general gameplay for Star Citizen, and is a huge step forward for general cargo and utility and all the other gameplay loops. Pretty much everything will make use of ship-scale tractor beams in some way. I love the idea of moving whole ships as well and towing them around, either to salvage them, fix them, or as part of gameplay loops. Cloud Imperium have also confirmed that the Spirit A1 and C1, so the bomber variant and cargo or multi-role variant of the Spirit, are on track for an Alpha 3.20.x release as well. Now, why have we got 3.20.x rather than the 3.20.1 and 3.20.2? Well, expect both of those patches, and it's likely that we'll have 3.20.1 for CitizenCon on the 21st of October, and 3.20.2 for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo to start that big sort of ship sale event and expo and any other stuff that might be going on at the same time. What we really don't know there is what sets of features are targeted for which point patch. And also, because that stuff hasn't happened yet, don't take that as gospel. It could be, take it with a big pinch of salt. It could be that there's a 0.3 patch as well. It could be that they change some bits around, but that's the most likely course of events. The Origin G12 rover was also added to the progress tracker with the EU vehicle content team's work going into December. It is going to take more work than that to get it finished and in game, so we'll see other teams and the downstream teams added to that schedule at some point. Potentially we could have the vehicle in Q1 2024 though, but it's currently not confirmed for any particular patch. Some other cool stuff for Alpha 3.20. A question was asked on Spectrum: did the Inferno and Ion changes make it into 3.20 live? CIG devs confirmed that the bearings ballistic Gatling guns have less spread in version 3.20, so that means less spread on the size 7 Ares Inferno, and additionally, both the Ares Inferno and the Ion have slightly improved aim assist. I need to test it out personally, but even slightly improved aim assist will probably go a huge way with the Ion. Also, the ballistic Gatlings acting less like Catherine wheels and more actually focused fire, hitting the target a lot more, is going to be big. The sort of less spread is significant. I might start delving into some other hidden features of 3.20 as well, because there's actually quite a lot of other stuff that the patch has added that aren't on the patch notes. So the Vulture, that should be purchasable in-game now at New Deal Lawville for around 1.26 million, which is great because now people don't have to buy that ship with real money. A lot more people can test out those salvage mechanics at the scale of the Vulture. I wonder when they're going to add some silly Vulture and salvage gameplay modes to Arena Command, actually. Experimental modes, salvaging competitions would be quite fun. 3v3 Vulture salvage competitions. So you can either attack, obviously just with some terrible Vulture weaponry, while the other teams are salvaging something, and after a certain amount of time, and there's just like salvage wrecks to find around, whoever's got the most salvage wins, and you have to drop the salvage off at a station or something like that. There are some fantastic looking biome and forest updates on Microtech that I hadn't really realised were there. Forests and greenery and stuff like that, that's the sort of planet I want to live on. And Cloud Imperium trying to build dense, consistent forests for Star Citizen and the biomes, that's a great thing. Something I do want to complain about, Hull C. Hull C, cool ship, some problems in the persistent universe at the moment, and we're like selling cargo, buying cargo, although that happens really intermittently. The Hull C being purchasable at $500 is ridiculous. So that's the current price of the Hull C to buy. Originally, the ship was $200 when it was first on sale like a decade ago, and I wouldn't have a problem with its really high cost if it was available to buy in-game now. It will be available in-game by the end of the year to purchase in-game. It's just a bit annoying that Cloud Imperium will market and sort of focus on, with all their media, like, look at this cool new feature and look at this cool new ship that has this new feature, but you can't use that for 3 months unless you've already bought one with real money. I want to get those ships into testers' hands so that more people can play the game. The game effectively gets iterated and improved with more information and data behind it. And I'm not a massive fan of elitism. This is one of the problems that I have with CIG's funding model. It's sort of development as a service, but features as a service is a bit beyond that. Anyway, enough of my rant. Experimental modes. So, Star Citizen now for 3.20 introduced a major revamp to Arena Commander's game module, introducing new and explosive experimental modes that get you straight into the action. These new game modes range from simple variants of existing modes to brand new experiences that explore new mechanics, locations, and even in-development features before they are introduced to the persistent universe. The intention is to rotate these modes in and out of the game in limited time cycles, and Cloud Imperium have given us the schedules for this from now until early November. So, Gun Rush, an FPS mode, so kind of like Star Marine, and every time you get a kill, you get a weapon change. I believe there's 16 weapons to go through, and once you get a kill with the final weapon, you win that round. That's running from September 17th to the 24th, so we'll end on the 24th. Master modes being tested with Endless Vandal Swarm, Free Flight, and Duel. That's on the 24th of September to the 1st of October. Now, master modes are the thing that really I want people to get involved with this patch and test out. It is really important for getting those flight mechanics and combat sort of mechanics all nailed down as soon as possible for Squadron 42 for Star Citizen. Surprised they're not running all of the time, to be honest. They've got Tank Royale from October 1st to October 7th. They've got Single Weapon Elimination and Mirror Match, which is October 7th to October 15th. So Single Weapon Elimination, that is literally one. You have one weapon, which is the Arclight pistol, and everyone uses that for the entire match. Mirror Match, I believe, is people have exactly the same loadout in a ship and then fight, this time I believe in the Fury. Got Gun Rush again from the 19th of October to November 2nd. Got Master Modes being tested from October 29th to November 2nd. That appears to just be in Standard Vandal Swarm, not in Endless Vandal Swarm or any other modes. Then you've got Team Tank Battle, October 15th to October 21st. And then we've got Master Modes, again being tested in Endless Vandal Swarm, Free Flight, and Duel from November 2nd to November 5th. I will link that all down below, but a lot of people have criticised the sort of erratic nature, or seemingly erratic nature, of those tests, and why run just an FPS mode sometimes and just a ship mode other times. Maybe have sort of like an FPS mode and a ship-based mode sort of concurrently. Shouldn't master modes be running all the time? But I suppose they want to get feedback and then iterate on it. So there probably is methods to CIG's seeming madness there. and hopefully they're going to be sharing that. I do also think they want to see as many concurrent players as possible, and if they constantly run these modes all the time, then there will be less people at certain times, and if they go, well, actually it's focused on this now, and keep on promoting that from week to week, like get involved with this, you're going to have more players turning up for each individual sort of section of gameplay than you would if you just ran them all simultaneously. But I'm really interested to know what you think. Have you played any of those modes and what you're thinking so far? I suppose mostly you'll be playing Gun Rush at the moment. What do you think of that? If you were able to try Master Modes when it was in the PTU, what did you think of that and the sort of changes there? What's 3.20 being like for you now in the persistent universe? Are you having terrible problems with servers and accessibility, the game imploding, or is it actually fantastic, best experience you've had with Star Citizen to date? Are you excited for the Argo SRV and tractor beams for ships coming into a 3.20.x patch? Are you an Ares owner, and what do you think of the changes and updates to the Ares? Are they significant? Are they minor and you haven't really noticed? Are you going to be buying yourself a vulture? What do you think of the forest biomes around Microtech? And is the Hull C, is it far too expensive at $500? Is it something you just want to be grabbing it in game and you're going to wait until the next major patch, or maybe you're going to be pirating them and stealing them? Because there's still ways of getting them in 3.20 without buying them with real money. It's just, I want to be able to buy them in in-game shops at the same time as well. And we always knew that there was going to be a 3-month exclusivity window for new ships when they put into the game, so it's nothing new, and just, I'll still complain about it. But whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. NordVPN is amazing and you should buy it. It's so useful, it's easier to tell you what it can't do. NordVPN can't do your taxes. Nord, how much do I owe for VAT? NordVPN can't help you buy more spaceships. Nord, add a terrapin to my shopping cart. NordVPN can't cook for you. No, my cabbages! And NordVPN can't be your girlfriend. Can't or won't NordVPN, if that is your real name. NordVPN.com/BoredGamer will help you connect to the internet more safely, securely, and anonymously, with greater access to the content you want. But can I teach it to love? Links below for the best NordVPN deals around. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and for September, that's for the Drake Corsair, that fantastic exploration ship. Not only will you be able to explore the verse with it, but the ship is perfectly competent at a huge range of gameplay, and is a fantastic mission-running ship. You can use it for cargo, you can put some vehicles in there. It's reasonably good in a fight, one of the true multi-role, multi-crew ships. To be in for a chance of winning one of those, just comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details down below. Also down below are links to be able to support the channel more. There's the join button, making you one of my elite channel members. You'll get occasional exclusive content. There's also YouTube badges and emotes to show your support. There's also Patreon for those of you that prefer that. We try to mirror the rewards on there as well. But just people liking, subscribing, and sharing these videos goes a long way. A heartfelt thank you to everyone that watched the video. I hope you have a great September, and I'll see you in the verse.